Daf Pei Dalet. Today's daf is sponsored for Refuah Shalema for Devora Bas Chaya Rivka. The Gemara continues its previous discussion as to this fundamental question: how do we know that when the Torah says ayin tachas ayin, it refers to monetary compensation and not literally taking an eye for an eye? The Gemara brings down numerous other interpretations which we will try to summarize. The first one is that of the Rashbi, from Shimon ben Yochai. He attempts to prove it by way of the eyes or the limbs not always being the same size. Therefore, the punishment would not be equal. The Gemara rejects this by saying in both cases the equality is the loss of eyesight. The second one is Rabbi Yishmael. He says the word in the Torah for compensation is nesina. Nesina refers to giving something. What is that? Money. The third is the Academy of Rabbi Chia. Concerning the punishment for hazama, there the terminology is not ayin tachas ayin, but it's ayin bi'ayin. And similarly, you would say there it mentions yad biyad. Yad biyad means something given from one hand to the other. Abaya, the fourth interpretation, proves it differently. He says that sometimes if an eye is removed from the perpetrator, he may die as a result. And the Torah says ayin tachas ayin and not ayin v'nefesh tachas ayin. The Gemara still in all rejects this by saying it's up to a court to evaluate if the person is capable of sustaining such a loss and surviving. The fifth is Rav Zavi. He explains the additional terminology in the verse of Petza Tachas Potza, teaches that in addition to the payment for damages, one has to pay for the victim's suffering. Now, if ayin tachas ayin means literally removing the eye, then the perpetrator suffered pain as well. The Gemara rejects this because the Torah could be referring to the difference in the amount of pain that he has to pay. Number 6 is Rapapa. Their similar idea, it says V'rapo Yirape, that in addition to the damages, he has to pay his medical expenses. If we remove the eye of the perpetrator, he also has medical expenses to pay. But there the Gemara again rejects this. It could be that the healing process for the victim is slower than that for the perpetrator, and he would have to pay the difference. The 7th is Rav Ashi. Rav Ashi learns a Gezerah Shava from a girl who was raped. The Torah says Tachas in that verse, Asher Ina. Here you have comparing damages, human damages to another human being damaged, and you have monetary compensation, injury, as in compared to injury. So because of that, from here we can understand the Gezerah Shava Tachas tells you we compare human injury to human injury and not that to an animal. And since there the compensation is money, here also the compensation would be money. Rabbi Eliezer was the 8th. He says that since it says ayin tachas ayin, the chiddush is it refers to the perpetrators, the value of the perpetrator's eye as opposed to that of a slave. But in essence and fundamentally, the payment is money and not literally an eye for an eye. The second point that the Gemara deals with is Rava. Rava says a principle. Niske shor b'shor ba'adim govim b'bavel, avalo niske adam ba'adim v'lo adam b'shor. Damages that an animal does to another animal is collected in Bavel, but not damage done by a human being, to either another human or to an animal. Now, the basis of this is, since the verse in the Torah says, in relation to Niske Adam, Ad She Elohim Yavo Devar Shneim, indicating you need smuchim. You need judges that have smicha, and those judges in Bavel did not. So Rava says that the judges in Bavel carried out their judgments only as representatives of the judges that were smuchim in Eretz Yisrael. However, this representation was limited to common cases such as animals damaging animals, and where the victim stands to lose money. Therefore, personal injury that is not so common, or fines such as humiliation that was not compensatory, were not adjudicated in Bava. Concerning damage of animals to one another, only cases of shein and regel that were commonplace were judged in Bava.